Huh? What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2006 movie Bambi 2. So this is a midquel that was one of the direct-to-video cheapquels that Disney used to do back in the mid to late 90s and early to late 2000s. And this one once again follows Bambi. He it picks up right after his mother is killed in the first movie, and he goes to live with his dad, the Great Prince of the Forest, and he's learning about what it takes to be a prince from his dad, while his dad is also having to learn what it takes to be a father. And they kind of have a rocky relationship to start with, but as the movie goes on, they kind of start bonding and stuff like that. And you also get to see Bambi hanging out with his friends and doing little shenanigans with Thumper and Flower and all them too and stuff. That stuff isn't near as well written as it was in the original, but it's still a little fun, cute moments and stuff too. They had to throw that in there since it's a Bambi movie. But I actually really like this movie quite a bit. I think it's definitely one of the best out of the cheapquels that Disney used to make back then and stuff. And they made a lot of them. There were some that were pretty decent, and there were some that are bad, and there were some that are pretty good, like this one. This is one of the ones I think is pretty good. The animation is really well done and stuff. Like they did a good job making it feel like it's a continuation of the original animation and stuff. I love that about it. Like it pretty much fits in with the original for the most part. And there are some jokes in here though that don't really land or don't really feel like they fit in Bambi and stuff. But like the flowers, skunk smell and stuff, it's just little cliche stuff that didn't really need to be in here, but it was okay. But there are things that I love about this movie that they got right more than there are things I didn't like. And the emotion in this movie is still really good. We actually get to see Bambi trying to deal with his mother's death and stuff, and how it's affecting him and stuff, which is something you don't really see in the original and everything. So I think that actually kind of enhances the original a little bit and everything. This movie kind of does that, and the way the relationship with his dad is written is really well done. It is a little cliched. You kind of know where certain things are going with their relationship. Like at the beginning, the dad is asking Owl to find Bambi a new mother and stuff because he feels like he's not suited to take care of him and everything. You know that that's going to build up throughout the whole movie, and eventually he's going to regret making that decision when they come to take Bambi away. Is a cliche that we've seen done in other movies, most notably Big Daddy, which I just reviewed not too long ago. This is kind of like a much more serious, kid-friendly version of Big Daddy, if you kind of think about it in a little bit of a way. And with this being a midquel, the stakes aren't very high, and everything. You kind of know how things are going to end because of the way the first movie ended and stuff. And like they do with a lot of these cheapquels, there are parts where they do kind of try to recapture the magic of the first one by reusing certain little plot points and stuff. And while it doesn't really ruin the movie, it just doesn't really work. A lot of the stuff, like I said, the best stuff in this movie is stuff that's kind of more original stuff. And they added this thing where the hunters have this deer call thing where they can trick the deer into coming to him, and Bambi thinks he hears his mom, and he's having like this hallucination that he's seeing his mom. It's a really heartbreaking scene, but it's a really, really well written one. And I also like how it shows like Bambi has PTSD and stuff from his mom getting shot and stuff. They kind of show that every time he hears gunshots or sees the dogs, he like freezes up and panics and stuff, but he can't move. And I thought that was kind of an interesting take to add to Bambi as a character and everything. That was something I wish they would have done more in the original, but they kind of showed that he had to overcome it at the age he did and everything. But because of living in the forest being the way it is and stuff. So I think it worked really well, and I think this is definitely one of the best ones for sure. And my only real big negative with this movie is they use some pop music in here in some of the background scenes, when like the little montage scenes and everything. Bambi's hanging out with his friends or hanging out with his dad and stuff. They have those little pop songs. I don't really like that. I wish they didn't really have that in here. But yeah, aside from that, I think this is still a fun movie, and I love Thumper in this movie too, which Thumper is one of my favorite Disney characters anyway. I've always loved him and everything. He's my favorite character in the original, and he's still my favorite in here. And while most of the dialogue does, for the most part, fit him, there are times where it doesn't kind of really feel like stuff Thumper would say. It kind of felt more modern and stuff. But that was just because of the time the movie was made. I understand they had to update it a little bit and everything, update the way they talk a little bit, but they still got a lot of it right though, because there's like parts where he just channels the old Thumper, and I love that. Like, he feels like a great continuation of the original Thumper. But yeah, so all in all, I absolutely love Bambi 2. I think it's a really great sequel, and the more I think about it after this rewatch, I think it is definitely a worthy midquel, or whatever you want to call it, for Bambi, and it kind of enhances the original a little bit, which most of these cheapquels don't. So while this doesn't necessarily have a really good warranted reason to exist, I'm really glad that it does. It's really a fun movie and really entertaining. Everything. It does have its moments that could have been cut out to make it a little bit better, but it wasn't anything that ruined the movie. So I'd say I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's really entertaining and everything. It's not something I rewatch all the time, but I like rewatching it every now and then when I watch my Disney movies and stuff. So it's a fun enough movie. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Bambi 2 if you've seen it. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you think it's one of the better ones of the cheapquels? Do you think it's one of the worst ones? Let me know what you think, and hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.